terrible stigma of like, you're this tough if you don't care.
It is the job.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I can't tell you how many times I heard that over, 15 years. Like, that's the job I signed up for.
Drop your head, run it out. And you know what? Like, yeah, absolutely. But also, we can all just say, like, what the fuck? That is crazy. Like, or like, hey, I put myself in chaotic situations in my life because I grew up in a really chaotic business and like, I'm trying to fix it. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just nice to be with other chefs, especially, and have everyone be like, hey, here's my thing.
Welcome to YMI Talking, a podcast where the guests are so good, you'll wonder why the host is even talking. In each episode, you will hear one of the leaders of the Lehigh Valley's vibrant business hub. They will tell you the keys to their success, the mistakes they've made, and what they have in store for the future. Here is the host of YMI Talking, from YMI Insurance, Jimmy Honachik.
All right, we are back with another episode. I am Jimmy Honachik, and
hello. I'm Emily Ellis.
Thank you. For people listening, now they have that cleared up if it was confusing to them. This is an awesome episode.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to dive into it. But before we do that, this is airing right around my birthday.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
Thank you. My birthday's on a Sunday this year.
Oh.
I like when my birthday, here at YMI, you get off on your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I work on my birthday.
Oh.
But it's the best. I guilt everyone into doing what I need them to do. I say, oh, you got to help me out. It's my birthday. But it's a Sunday this year, so I can't do that, which is unfortunate.
You could still tell us to do stuff on Monday.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try it. People will be like, no, it's not your birthday. Good try, Jimmy. But this episode was really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. Emily, and we got a bonus guest.
Mm-hmm. Angie.
Yeah. So Emily showed up. Her family has owned Limeport Inn for the last 25 years. But she has a new co-chef there.
Yeah.
And Angie's great.
Yeah, they're both awesome.
Yeah. You can tell. They talked about how, they met each other and it just all kind of clicked. Mm-hmm. And you could see that. Like, there was real chemistry there.
I thought they had been best friends for years.
Yeah. So I think they're going to do great things together.
Yeah.
Angie sounds like she's an industry vet. Like, she's been at some really great spots and has been in the industry. So I expect them to continue to make Limeport Inn awesome.
Yeah.
Which it is. So without further ado, we will turn it over to Emily and Angie.
Yep.
All right. I am so excited. I love food. I love nice restaurants, and I love when they're really close to me. And this happens to check all three. Limeport Inn is, if you've been there, you know that it's a magical experience. I don't think I'm overusing that word. There's something that just feels good when you're there. The food is great. The service is great. The setting there in Limeport is beautiful. And that's really all brought together by Emily Fischer, who is the chef and manager at the Limeport Inn. And we have her today along with Angie Faherty, who is her co-chef. And I can't wait to jump into this. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Look, you guys talking. Let's talk about the Limeport Inn. It's got so much history. It goes back, and your family's been there for 25 years now. Yeah. So walk me through kind of your relationship with the Limeport Inn.
Sure. Limeport is like my child.
Yeah.
I say it. I mean, I have an actual child now, but it is like my child. I grew up there. My cousin was the chef. My mom was making salads. My dad is the bartender. My sister was dishwashing. It was all hands on deck.
Yeah.
It started small. It was an Irish pub owned by the McGowans. And I remember them saying to my parents after we had taken over, we were here 16 years, like, best of luck. And they said it like, go ahead, go get them, Tiger.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to my mom about this the other day because we are coming up on our 25-year reunion.
Wow.
Like, we're in the 25 years and like it just flew.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on a milk crate in the kitchen and watching everyone and thinking, like, this is so cool. And I fell in love with it entirely.
Not to date you, but how old were you when they bought it?
6.
6.
Yeah.
So that really is all you've known, essentially,
Yeah.
is growing up in that restaurant.
Yep. And all the people in there, I mean, for the most part, still are there.
Wow.
We have a server, Ange, who babysat me. And like now we are working together.
Yeah.
There's so many people there who have been there 10 plus years, which I think is something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And something that stood out to me is your daughter, Iris,
Yeah.
is basically living sort of the same life that you did, right? Like you
Yeah.
have her there all the time.
Yes. Yeah. She, yeah, which I love because all of my memories at Limeport growing up, like I remember blowing up vinyl gloves, like kitchen gloves
Mhm.
with water and like making Sharpie faces on them and like hanging them from the stairs. And like everyone just kind of had to deal with it, right?
Mhm.
Because like, yeah. But I think of like those moments now, like if I walked into work and there was like 50 like little blown up inflatable gloves, like what? It was like the best thing ever. I would take like the bigger boxes and make little huts and draw on them. And
Mhm.
it was just a playground. And that's kind of what Iris is doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's days where I have to take her in with me. And I have a giant playpen in the basement. And she goes, and it's like, okay, there's a baby in the basement. And just like, help me, like, make sure she's okay.
Yes.
And I'll like walk by. Angie has her on the line. She's like making soup and like holding a baby. It's great.
That's awesome. I mean, so there is so much that goes into running the business and the restaurant that, you know, I think having a co-chef, and I'd like to kind of hear your opinion, makes sense, especially, you know, raising a daughter and doing all of this has to be a lot. So how did Angie come into the equation?
Angie, I met through Yes Chef.
Ooh, we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Mhm.
I met her at the retreat and we just instantly hit it off. And it was kind of always in the back of my head, like, how do I get my hands on this? But it wasn't until a couple weeks later she had reached out and the opportunity just kind of became a no-brainer.
Mhm.
And I explained to her, like, you know, I am not physically in the building as much as I'd like to be. And I just need someone to like funnel all of my crazy ideas and make sure things happen. And,
Yeah.
you know, not saying that my current crew like isn't that or not
Yeah.
doing it, but it's a lot
It is.
and we're busy.
Mhm.
So she was a great addition.
Yeah, this kitchen is very well built, but like Emily said, because, you know, she is a brand new kid and there is so many responsibilities as a chef, you know,
Mhm.
like we were talking about it earlier, like scheduling, ordering, just dealing with, you know, the public and your employees, managing money on top of like the everyday stuff. It's a lot. So, you know, she's a new mom
Mhm.
and doing that plus being a chef is rough. And I was at a place that was severely overworking me.
Mhm.
Like I worked 87 hours in 1 week. The last week I worked there.
Are there even that many hours in a week?
I don't know. I like thought about, I was like, how many hours could that possibly have meant that I slept that week?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
With no overtime.
Yeah, no, yeah, because I was
Oh.
salary.
Yeah.
So like Emily said, it just ended up being like good timing on
Mhm.
both behalves. And yeah.
That's something that's interesting, and I never really appreciate is you can be an incredible chef, right? And you can be the best and have mastered your craft, but that doesn't mean you're going to run a successful restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much more to it. How do you guys find that balance between the art and the business?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say, first off, the food is always first. Like you can make something, you know, people always say you eat with your eyes first, but if it doesn't taste good, then it doesn't make sense. But you also have to consider like the amount of labor it takes to do something,
Yeah.
how much those products cost. Because like you said, we could make the most beautiful, best tasting thing, but if the food cost is 80% and you're not utilizing the other stuff, that doesn't really help you. So I think that we both are just so passionate about it. Like we'll text nonstop, just like, yo, check this idea out.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, whatever on Instagram, like, oh, look at this. And I think that we both feed each other's creativity, and then we figure out how to make those things make sense for the Limeport, which is super important, I think.
Yeah, I think knowing your clientele, the things you can do and the things that won't do well is a big thing. You know, everyone went through the molecular gastronomy stage. I did. And I remember spending like 2 hours making these caviars once.
Yeah.
And like no one bought it. No one appreciated it. And I was like, but it's like, no, actually just scratch that. You got to lean into what works and try to come up with seasonal creative differences and be more creative with your specials. And those are the highlights that change so frequently and you can get a little crazier with.
Yeah.
And in terms of like staffing, I think putting people in spots that they shine at are the best. Like I know in kitchens, the term brigade, like a brigade kitchen, that's used, right? Your executive chef, you have your sous chef, you have your commis, you have your garde manger. I get it. I respect it. But there's a lot of egos in the kitchen, and especially when you have someone who's been there for 10 years and they don't want the responsibility of a role, but they still do bring a lot to the table. It's tough to navigate. So I like to just kind of treat everyone as like, we're all on this mission together.
Yeah.
When my plumber comes to fix a leak, I'm not calling him plumber, I'm calling him Paul. So
Right.
you can call me Emily. And if I need to go in and work on a Saturday to cover for someone, I'm not bumping anyone out of saute or a position that they worked hard to get in. Like I'm cool on salads. Oh, you need dishwasher? I'm cool in dish. Like, because that's not the goal here. The goal here is to create a team that can excel when I'm not in the building.
Yeah.
So why would I use my ego or get weird with it?
Have you struggled with that at all, or is that something that came naturally? Because I do feel, you know, it's not a negative thing to have an ego in a world like that. It kind of helps you get through and become successful. So have you had trouble kind of keeping that ego back and aside?
Yeah. God, I think we all existed in our 20s, right? yeah. Like I know everything and this is going to be great, except you had the dynamic of you're working for your family. And it's like, at the end of the day, my parents still sign my paycheck, right? So when they say like, no, you're not doing that. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Then it becomes like a whole other level of diabolical.
Yes.
So that was my 20s. And I really learned like, you know what? Let's leave the ego at the door because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
It turns out. And no one does. And we have so much to learn from each other. I have so much to learn from anyone in my kitchen or outside of it and my parents.
Let's talk about that dynamic. I skipped the 20s in the family business, which was probably for the best for the family business. And then I came in, but you know, you're still going to have, it's that weird dynamic, right? The family business where you have a personal relationship and then you have to have a business relationship. How have you found that? How have you worked through that? I mean, it's interesting in your case because it's all you've ever known, but how do you find that?
Well, I think we're all really passionate about it. So when we're together, like, our fun conversations are talking about like, what's the tea? What's the drama? What happened? What's working? What's not working? Like it's fun. Like I like it. And I used to, when I was a little kid, I would listen into like my parents talking in the morning, like, cause I was just so interested in it.
Yeah.
It's, they never put any pressure on me and they were never like, you're going to stay and work here. I always wanted to do it. I appreciate the life that the restaurant has given me and us. So I take a lot of that internally, I think. Like I put the pressure on myself because I don't want to disappoint them. Because at the end of the day, they're not just my bosses. They're my parents.
Yeah. Do you guys feel the legacy of the Limeport Inn? Because like I said, it is a magical place. Do you feel that weight and like you kind of owe it your all. Like, how do you push through that?
I'm looking into 30 years from now.
Mm.
So if I make it as bombastic and successful right now, then I have a higher chance of like continuing it. It's just trajectory speaking, right? Like I'm not in it to like get all the awards this year. I'm in it for the long term. I want to create an ecosystem of staff that is happy and longevity for my business.
Yeah. Let's talk about that because, Angie was working a very difficult job before she came here. And that is a lot of what the restaurant industry is known for. And I think it demands that in some ways. So how are you able to find the balance between, keeping staff happy and making sure it's a good environment for them and the realities of having a chef or a restaurant?
I think that at the Limeport, we do a really good job of just understanding like people are people. I think I work for chefs where it's like my grandpop is on his deathbed and they're like, no, you need to stay for service. Like, I'm sorry, then I guess I'm fired. Because, you know what I mean? Like, I think we just do a good job of like actually caring about the people that work there and understanding that like if you take care of them, that they will take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. A great example is this coming Saturday, I saw on Facebook that the Lehigh Valley Zoo is doing this Otter Fest.
Yes.
Or Otter Bowl. And Tom, he works in the kitchen. He loves otters and he hasn't taken off a Saturday in like forever. So I texted him yesterday. I was like, hey, you and Becca, his wife, should go to Otter Bowl. Like I'll work on Saturday.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, thank you for thinking of me. Like just little stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Because for the first time in a long time, we have the staff and the availability. Like, tag me in. I'm here. Happy to do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Emily texted me today that she's going to be 15 minutes late. And I said, don't even bother showing up. And she showed up anyway.
It was a test. It was. Yeah. It was.
Yes. That's great. So the craft itself, the food is kind of like you said, Angie, center to everything you do. And you guys brought us some food. Emily, would you mind grabbing that? Can we try it on air?
Oh my gosh, that's a good idea.
And tell me a little bit about it. So
Sure.
It was a tomato pie, right?
Yeah. So tomato pie, I chose it because Angie is from Philly. My family is from Philly. And at every like baptism, birthday, holiday, there was a tomato pie.
Yeah.
And it just always stuck with me. So during COVID, instead of like losing my mind, I thought like, let's bake like everyone else.
Yeah.
So I came up with this recipe. It's a focaccia and tomato pie recipe that I kind of combined. So the actual dough is a doubled focaccia recipe.
Wow.
The topping is a tomato pie, obviously. And I bake it real hard and real fast, like a tomato pie. So it's crispy.
Yeah. It looks beautiful.
But this is what, I don't know. I just feel like this is a really
Oh,
good
and I
depiction
smell it
of
now.
who I am.
Yes.
I totally agree.
Was tomato pie like a thing?
Oh
for
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Do you guys want a slice?
I would not.
Okay.
I'm
Not
good.
that it's not delicious.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just ate before I came here.
I am always hungry, so
Yes.
thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, this looks great. So tell me about the bread. Like, it's making dough is a whole art that I don't
it's
understand.
like touching.
Yeah.
That's what I like about making dough is that like, yeah, you can like,
Oh my God.
yeah. like some ASMR.
That is
yeah.
ASMR.
Yeah.
I'll do it again if I have to, I guess.
Mm.
Oh my God.
So the tomato pie recipes that I had found on the internet they weren't as dense as this and they weren't as crispy. And like the tomato pie I remember from Sam's Market, it was thick and it was crispy. So that's why I kind of tapped into a focaccia.
It's
recipe.
fun, like biting
So
into
good.
it, that crunch.
Yeah.
Is there a little spice in there too?
There is.
Yeah, what
Some
is
red
that?
Pepper flakes.
Yeah.
And then some balsamic.
Balsamic is my favorite thing in the entire world. So
See?
you did it. Thank you.
course.
The rest of this interview is going to be awful because I'm just going to be eating tomato pie during it.
It's okay.
But talk to me about the food. What kind of separates Limeport? When you think of Limeport, what makes you, what makes it different?
I think the food is homey, right?
Mhm.
So it's very like
Comfort
your
with an
grandmom. Yeah, your grandmom's like in the back cooking, but it's like the hippest grandma.
Right.
It's like the way I think of it, like we're
Mhm.
using ideas or like nueve food or food trends, but we're putting those things into what works for our client or what our client seems to like.
Mhm.
Practical.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2026 is the year of the cabbage. I don't know if you guys have heard.
Oh,
No.
I did not know that.
According to whom? Just in general?
Just in general, if you type it in, like I'm weird with food trends. Every like December, I'm like 2026 food trends.
Yeah.
yeah. And cabbage was popping up. I mean, from like Vogue to like Great British Chef, like it's just
Really?
all over. And I think it's so.
Yeah, write it down.
Yeah, you should write it down. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna do it as a special this weekend and run it as a potential menu item for spring.
I mean, I love cabbage.
Right?
Yeah.
Like-
I feel like it gets looked down upon. So I'm
Yes,
really
so
glad to hear
underrated.
what is happening for it right now.
Mhm.
It's like Brussels sprouts. I feel like that was the vegetable growing up where they're like, I'll make you eat your Brussels sprouts.
Mhm.
And then it had a glow up and it's the greatest item on the menu at this point.
Mhm.
Right.
So
It
maybe
is.
maybe 2026 will do that for cabbage.
Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're about to run it this weekend. So
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was an episode of Portlandia. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys are familiar. And the whole premise of the episode was like, here's these foods that no one wants to buy at the grocery store. And each person is like assigned a food and they have to sell it to like people. And there was
Mhm.
Mr. Bacone. And he was like, I know how to sell celery. It was just, it was a whole bit. It was hilarious. But every time, like when we were talking about the cabbage, in the back of my head, I was like, when I make our social media post, I'm going to clip the
Yes.
Mr. Bacone clip from Portlandia, and probably only like 5 people out of the 500 that see it will
Yeah.
like get it. But it's funny
enough.
for me. Yeah.
And I'm one of those people. So you just
Yeah.
did a Portlandia reference and you brought me food. This is the best podcast episode we've had.
Perfect.
So what is next for Limeport Inn? I mean, you've got this history behind you. You don't strike me as someone who's happy just kind of with the status quo. You've brought Angie in. So
Mhm.
what is next for you guys?
Well, we do have an addition in the works.
Yeah.
We're going to be turning the outdoor space into a 4 seasons room. So glass. More
So
fountains.
that's like my favorite part of the Limeport Inn is sitting out there.
Yes.
And now I can do it year round.
Yes, you can do it year round, and the aesthetic that everyone enjoys of the outdoor patio
Yeah.
will not be lost. If anything, it will be much better.
Yeah. With the glass. I'm picturing like right now how beautiful I bet it is with the
Mhm.
snow out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So when do you expect to have that?
Well, we originally were hoping to break ground this March, but we're still, we submitted everything. We're waiting on the final drafts from architects to then submit it to the township.
Yeah.
It's just a slow
Mhm.
moving project.
Yeah.
But outside of the expansion, having Angie with us at Limeport has allowed me to like really hone in on the extracurriculars.
Mm.
So like this podcast, and we're doing a tasting for Easton Farmers Market. And I just, we're doing Chef Cycle. She's making
Yeah.
me ride.
Oh, really?
Mm.
I am.
We were big. We bought a table last year for that because it's such a cool event.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so many great chefs there.
Yes. And
Mhm.
I always, like every year I would see it and be like, I'm going to be there. And now I have to ride 200 miles on a
So
bike.
you're riding,
Yeah.
not with.
So I rode last year too.
Okay.
So I went to go look at the space. I agreed to do the dinner.
Yeah.
So I went to go look at the space and just figure out, like what I was going to cook,
Mhm.
what the plating was, all that. And then when we were done, Lee Shizmar looks at me and he was like, I heard you cycle. And I'm like, oh, but not like that. Like I've like never rode in like a group set, like in a race or anything like that.
Yeah.
I own a road bike, Lee. Okay. Like, no, I do work out, but like in my ball shorts,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but Lee is very convincing. And
Mhm.
so I agreed with like 6 weeks notice. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't train very much at all because it was May, and May is a very busy month
Right.
to be a chef. and it was phenomenal.
Wow.
And then when we became friends, I convinced Emily to also.
That's
do
so
it.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is Lee? He's tried to undersell me that he's not that great of a biker, but the team that he brings, a lot of them are like expert bikers.
And he's literally like on the cover of Chef's
Yeah.
I felt like he was talking himself
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he definitely does that. He
Mhm.
always says that that like may have saved his life.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can totally get that because chefs are very like, we don't really take care of ourselves
No.
that well.
Yeah.
A lot of chefs like drink, smoke.
Mhm.
We work a lot of stressful hours.
Yeah.
We do not work out. We don't eat phenomenal. So I would totally say that he's probably not the only one.
Yeah. Well, that brings us back to Yes Chef, which you were a part of this year. Let's talk about, how you got involved and then sort of the Yes Chef mission and your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I saw Elaine's phenomenal photos. They were those beautiful black and white photos.
Mhm.
They were everywhere. Everywhere I went, Instagram, Facebook, like Google, anywhere.
Mhm.
And they were just so impactful. And I knew some of the chefs and like their personalities like shine through those photos.
Yeah.
And that's when I started following Elaine and like paying attention to what Yes Chef was. And I reached out to her probably 4 months after having my daughter and just said like, hey, I want to do this. And she was totally in and with it. Her mission is incredible. She's so cool and so dope. And
Mhm.
at the retreat, what was really cool was being able to be vulnerable with a bunch of chefs that like I respect and know.
Yeah.
And like say some things that were like really tough that I wouldn't have said like outside of my therapist's office.
Yeah.
So it was really neat to like be vulnerable with one another and like honest and raw about it.
Which is something that I don't think there is enough of in the industry.
Oh God, no. There's a terrible stigma of like, you're this tough, you don't care.
Mhm.
It is the job.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I heard that over, 15 years. Like
Mhm.
that's the job
Yeah.
I'm signed up for.
Drop your head, run it out. And you know what? Like, yeah, absolutely. But also we can all just say like, what the fuck? Like,
Yes.
yeah, like
Uh-huh.
that is crazy. Like, or like, hey, I put myself in chaotic situations in my life because I grew up in a really chaotic business and like I'm trying to fix it. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just nice to be with other chefs, especially, and have everyone be like, hey, here's my thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's great. Speaking of, Elaine and Zeke and the them in general, we are sponsored by Zcraft this season, and as you know, they do a great job. Zeke does a great job, obviously, on the deliveries and the food, but you go there and you get a cup of coffee and have a sip, but sometimes in life, sip happens. And so we like to give a shout out to Zcraft and ask you a time that sip happened to you.
Ooh.
And
I would say
I'm going to have a bite of tomato pie while you think.
an embarrassing moment. I would say one that I have that sticks out to me so vividly is really just like a miscommunication. So I worked for Pierre Kamal, who owns Bibu in Philly, but I worked for Le Sherry. So I really wanted to work there. And I had like applied and all this stuff. He never got back to me. So I went and ate there. Like the first eating on a Friday night, I was like, I know the chef's going to be there. And he was speaking plain English, but we had to get his wife to translate because his accent was like so bad.
Oh, no.
And like at one point before we got his wife, I was just like trying to like stumble through and like pretend like I knew what he was talking about. And I ended up telling him like my knife skills were a 1 because I didn't know what he was saying. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You're like just agreeing. Yeah. He's like, and your knife skills are bad? And you're like, yeah, oh yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Oh.
That's exactly what happened. So.
That's awesome.
That's really funny. All right. So we're almost out of time, which drives me crazy because I could talk to you guys about Limeport all day. Is there anything that we didn't hit that you want to hit? Anything that, makes the Limeport stand out that we should talk about?
I think something to touch on is that energy you were talking about. Like when you walk in, you just like feel like you're like in something special. I think what makes Limeport so cool is the entire interior is not only designed, decorated, and maintained by us. Like my mom and I go to Target and we get the Valentine's Day decorations, and on New Year's Eve, like Iris is on the bar floor and I'm hanging balloons by myself. Like, it's just that everyone cares so much about each other.
Yeah.
Like we genuinely all love each other in that building.
I was about to say, I feel like it's a cliche to say like this was made with love, but like you guys like, really do.
Oh no, we really do. And my parents are phenomenal bosses. When COVID happened, there was a group chat with all the staff. My dad reached out to everyone and said, hey, like I know it's rough out there. The restaurant's closed for the foreseeable future. So if you need anything, like use Limeport as your grocery store.
Wow.
They're really caring, they're giving. They've helped people with their rent. They've helped with bills. They don't expect it back. This isn't me like advertising that.
Yeah.
Like, take advantage of us. But like, they're just really good people. And I think that the employees like respect that.
Yeah.
So they want to be a part of this mission just as much as we want it.
Something we didn't hit on that I would like to hit on is your parents and getting into it, right? Because they didn't have the background, right? If you don't mind, tell that story real quick.
Yeah. So no restaurant experience whatsoever.
Which blows my mind. I mean, like I'm scared getting, doing something slightly different, and they did their entire life different.
Yeah, they're just my idols in a relationship and business wise. They work so well together. They have a 60-acre horse farm in Zionsville. They're artists. They boarded horses. For income, we slaughtered chickens and sold chicken salad at the Allentown Farmers Market. That was soul crushing and obviously just didn't bring a lot of money in.
Yeah.
So right before 9/11, they bought Limeport Inn.
Wow.
And we opened like the week after 9/11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we made it. Yeah, they're really smart.
Yeah. I mean, did they have concerns? I mean, you're 6, right? So I'm sure they didn't really voice these to you, but have you heard since like where they was scary for them or anything?
Yeah, I think that very much existed, especially for the first year. The world was different. Just like COVID.
Yeah, right.
When COVID happened, we were opening up our 3rd location.
Wow.
It's like buck the odds.
Yeah.
And a lot of banks don't want to give loans to a restaurant. I mean, the success rate is incredibly low.
Yeah.
Especially as, oh, hi, yeah, no, I have a farm and I slaughter chickens. Will you give us like a lot of money?
Yeah. Talk about, you said the 3rd location. So what else is under, the Limeport umbrella, if you will?
Sure, yeah. So there's the Jameson Public House that is run by Stephen Yeager, who's my cousin, who's the original chef at Limeport. And then there is Sumney Town, which is ran by my sister, Jessica, and her husband, Brian. All 3 are historic buildings, all renovated and taken back to their heydays.
Yeah. And you can tell walking in there, like you said, it feels special. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Anything else?
I don't think so. This has been real fun.
This has been awesome. Like I said, thank you for the food.
Of course.
I was sold with that. But the Limeport Inn, it is, there's a legacy there, and it really is something special. And so thank you guys for what you do to make it feel that way.
Yeah, thank you for having us and highlighting us.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the YMI Talking podcast. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more content from amazing personalities in the Valley, please subscribe, leave a rating, and drop us a quick review.